everyone! I'm guessing you're pretty surprised to see a video on my blog today. It's something I've never posted, but since I just finished taping something for the upcoming Stretch Your Stamps class, I'm going to tape another video today as I give away a spot in this Stretch Your Stamps class. It's going to start, I believe, on July 9th. So today I'm going to quite literally show you how to stretch your stamps. I'm using the broadest stripe from the Faux Ribbon stamp set from Paper Tray Ink. It's probably my #1 favorite stamp set. But as you can see, the problem with this stamp is that it does not extend the length of a card, and this is actually an A1 sized card. So A1 is a bit smaller than an A2 card, and so it certainly would not be long enough to make a stripe down the length of an A2 card. So today I'm going to show you how to stretch the stamp. The idea here is that I'm going to hide the seam of where the stripe, where I'm going to have to stamp twice. So I'm using this strip of paper here. It's going to be where I place my sentiment later. But for now, I'm going to place it where I want it on the card eventually and use a pencil to draw kind of where that strip will go, because that's where I'm going to let the seam of my stripe go. So later it'll be hidden. So I'm going to use, what color is this? This is Fresh Ink Ginger. It's kind of an orangey color. And I'm going to turn this card sideways because it's a bit easier for me to stamp that way. Ink this up, and I'm going to stamp my stripe at the edge of the paper, making sure that the end goes in between those two lines that I drew. And I'm stamping on a piece of chipboard that's kind of sitting around here because I don't want to stamp onto my mat. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try and keep my spacing even, but sometimes that's hard. And again, keeping the seam right there in between those two pencil lines. This way, when I finish the card, it will look like a continuous stripe, when in fact, I couldn't make a continuous stripe with this stamp because it's not long enough. I'm all done with stamping the stripes, and as you can see, the seam for each one, it's not pretty looking at all, but it doesn't matter because you won't see it. Next, I'm going to take an eraser and quickly erase those pencil lines because nobody wants to see that. And now the next part of this card is placing this strip. And actually what I want to do for this card is create an offset striped pattern, and I'll show you what I mean. First I'm going to create a little notch at the end of this strip. That one's not so straight. Let's see if we can do it better. It takes me a few tries sometimes to get a centered banner pennant, and we'll keep going. That works for me. Okay. And that's going to be placed right where I'd planned for it, right here. But what I want to do in order to get a good offset stripe pattern, I'm going to use vellum to mask the card that I've already stamped. So I'm going to place a piece of vellum on top and tape it down in the corners so it'll stay put. And the reason I do this is so that I can still see through to the card, but I can place the sentiment strip where I want it. I'm going to tape that down again as well. And I can see, if it's going to be an offset pattern, where to stamp the stripe. So I'm going to clean off that stamp because I'm going to use the same one, clean it off. And this time I'm going to go in with a purple color, which is called Silver Lilac. And for the sake of easy stamping, I'm going to turn it again to the side so that I can see what I'm doing and maneuver a little better. And now I'm going to stamp in the white space between each of the lines that I stamped before. And the reason I do it this way, instead of just kind of haphazardly stamping stripes, is because my stamping is not going to be perfectly spaced. So in order to get a perfectly offset stripe pattern, I really need to use my previous stamping as a guide. Okay, now that I've stamped to create that offset pattern, I can take my vellum off. I'm not a big vellum user for cards, but this is a great way for me to use vellum. So I'm glad that I had some on hand because I don't typically use it for cards. That will be trash. And now you can see where the ugly line is. And then we can place, see how crisp that looks? Oh, I love that. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some dimensional adhesive and adhere this banner. I like to cut it in half because I don't think this is long enough, but it will be. Let's put one strip here and one strip here. Peel it off and there we go. Kind of make sure I'm putting it in the right spot so that all of the lines line up and create that offset pattern. I don't want it to look all wonky. Oops. I think that, yep, that looks good. That's my final answer right there. Okay. A little crooked. Okay, that'll work. So now that that's on, just flip this over and trim off the part that's hanging off. There we go. So we've got, now it looks like those orange stripes are just continuous and you never know that there's an ugly seam underneath. For the sentiment, I'm just going to use a simple hay sentiment that I die cut from the Paper Tray Ink alphabet dies. I'm not sure their proper name, but something like that. And for these, I think I'm going to use a glue pen to stick them on since they're so little. There we go. I'll let those dry a little bit, but they're on there well. Oops, spoke too soon. There we go. Let those stick on there and dry, and there you have it. Stretching your stamps, pretty literally, and if you keep watching, I'll show you the photos of the set that I made using the same technique, using different color combinations and different sentiments. Hope you like this video. I will see you soon. Bye.